What's up, everyone? It's Bopper BOP. Either one doesn't matter to me. Forgive the speech in today's episode of the Weekend Roundup. I had some wisdom teeth pulled and I'm still in the swollen stage, but I'm going to get through it. It's nothing big. But, anyways, let's catch up to what happened in boxing. And in ESPN starting off, we had Artur Beterbiev defeating Adam Deines by 10th round corner stoppage. And I got to say this, Adam showed heart. He showed a lot more heart and a lot more toughness than I thought possible. If you listen to my predictions, it says Deines going down in 4 rounds. He went down a couple times, but Artur was just getting the rounds in. And then he turned it up, of course, towards the end, which led to the corner throwing in the towel. Deines didn't want to stop it. He just wanted to keep on going. He showed tremendous heart, and I think he's going to get a couple more opportunities to prove himself. Maybe Bivol takes on Deines. Who knows? But I think he showed himself to where somebody looking for a light heavyweight opponent, a good, tough, body, Adam Deines definitely showed out, but Beterbiev was just taking in the rounds, knocking off the rust, and then when he turned on the inside game, it was game over. And again, the corner knew that, and Beterbiev retained his title. But great showing by Deines. He landed some good shots. I think Artur definitely took too many shots from Deines, but maybe that's the indication of how, talented Deines is, or maybe just Artur Beterbiev knocking off the rust. It could be either or, but I proved it. I'd like to think that it's just the rust, because they're talking about Joe Smith Jr. versus Beterbiev, and that would be a good fight and hopefully a unification fight, if Joe Smith Jr. comes through in a fight that I'll give my predictions for. And I have before, but I'll give my predictions again, if it's not called off, coming soon. But next, we have Billam-Smith defeating Vasil Ducar, and this was by UD. Billam-Smith ended up knocking him down, and he has this tough, rugged style, Billam-Smith does. And it was supposed to be against Juma, but Juma pulled out, apparently for the second time. Apparently that's what that's what Eddie Hearn said. Apparently, if I can say that enough. But Vasil Ducar was just a tough person, and he proved to be tough. It was a good scrap, and Billam-Smith definitely needs to work on his defense. I think that's the biggest hole in his game. He's very aggressive, and he shows that he can go all the rounds, but let's just see if he can, minimize getting hit. That's the advice this armchair boxer would give this real professional boxer that won the Continental title of the WBA. So, anyways, that's all I would say. If Billam-Smith wants to move up into the next, into the world rankings, he definitely needs a better defense. And I mean, hey, it would be good to see against Glowacki. That would be a good test. And going to the main event of Okolie Glowacki, this was beautiful. I don't even want to say, I called it, because I didn't call it as beautiful as this, although I was really hoping for something like this, and it was delivered thanks to a Lawrence Okolie. I'm going to one-shot this because of my mouth, not going to break it up into segments like I would. That's why you're seeing this one title card. Apologies. I will do better next time, but swollen face and all, I'm just going to go through this. But Okolie controlled Glowacki with the jab all 5 rounds leading up to the 6th round. And, of course, he even predicted, 5 to 8 rounds it'll last. I predicted, I think, 6 or 7. I'm going to say 7th round I predicted like a TKO or a KO. But just the jab was so important. Glowacki looked like an amateur to Okolie. Okolie did such a phenomenal job. He looked like just a whole new level compared to what he's been. And I've been the one to say, hugging Henry Akawanda style, but I knew he still had the talent to either wear an opponent down and knock him out, or use his jab. Now, like we saw with Yashevsky, not Jaszewski, but Yashevsky, like we saw with him, it was just this coming out party and the positive attitude. And I didn't really see overconfidence as more as just relaxed and good, ready to go. Eddie Hearn was talking about Okolie seemed a little too confident, and I'm just sitting there like, no, he seems ready. That's what I ended the prediction video of Okolie Glowacki with, was Okolie was ready. And I mean, Okolie set up, broke down, and destroyed Glowacki with the jab. And the last punch was a jab, then a body shot KO to Glowacki and folded him. And then he landed flat on his back. It was over. In the 6th round, it was over. It wasn't even a contest. This wasn't even a contest. I would like to say that Glowacki gave Okolie a test, but he didn't. I would like to, a lot of people are now going to probably say, oh, Glowacki was over the hill. Glowacki would make for a great cruiserweight fight. He would beat Chris Billam-Smith right now, Richard Riakporhe. He would beat those guys. And I hold out hope for those guys, and hopefully Dion Jama, he gets a good start going, and maybe he faces Chris Billam-Smith and doesn't pull out again. I don't know what that situation is, but I wish him luck, But just Okolie wasn't tested. I guess he was, but he wasn't. He passed it with just, I don't know how to describe it other than and I know people are going to be like, well, it wasn't a Mike Tyson performance and all this, 2 seconds and all, but it was like Jordan taking off from the free throw line and just staying in that air and then dunking. It was something to behold. It was like this one fighter that you saw, he had this one style, and you're hoping like, oh, maybe if he just used the jab, if he would just use the jab. Then he uses the jab, and he has this completely different style that's just phenomenal to watch. It's a pleasure to watch, and hopefully he's wanting Maris Briedis next after this. I don't know if Briedis will go up to heavyweight, or maybe with Eddie Hearn, he would make an offer that Briedis couldn't refuse, and that would be a fantastic fight, a boxer versus a boxer. But with this, I don't want to be caught up in the moment, but Okolie looked phenomenal to where it's like, bring on Makabu, Gulamirian, bring on Briedis. Now, I would like to see, just due to I know he's saying he wants to unify, but I'm wanting an undisputed unifying, and I'm kind of hoping if Briedis would kind of have to work. Like, Briedis would have to be up next, because Briedis is wanting to move to a heavyweight, even though I think that's wrong. It's wrong at this time, but can you really blame a person for saying, no, don't get that big paycheck? Can you really tell Briedis, oh, you've done all this? But if I was Briedis, I would stay as a career cruiserweight and just rule that division. But that's just me, an armchair boxer, just a fan of the sport. But I would want to see, if it's possible, I would like to see a escalation versus Gulamirian, then versus Makabu, then the ultimate scenario versus Briedis. Or maybe Briedis takes out Makabu or Gulamirian. They take out one each. They both meet with 2 belts each and meet for undisputed, although Briedis would have 3, considering the ring belt would be added to that. So just that would be the dream scenario. But if it's, Briedis next, and if he gets past Briedis, that would be a phenomenal fight. I'm not going to tell you who I'm going to go for there, because the whole prediction thing and whoop-de-doo the channel. Which, by the way, I've seen the uptick in subscribers. Glad y'all are finding the channel and enjoying the content. Again, light heavyweights and cruiserweights. That's what it's going to be, But I would definitely like to see that. If he gets through Briedis, then pick your choice, Makabu or Gulamirian. I think Gulamirian would be the easier one to make the fight, because he's not represented by Don King. But this is a great, great day for cruiserweight boxing. Okolie ascending to world champion in 15, 16 fights, whatever it is. Ridiculous. It was great. They told his story working at McDonald's, and then him busting his ass to become a British champion, or an Olympian, a British champion, a European champion, and I believe he was an intercontinental or continental champion when he beat Jaszewski. Now he's a world champion. So congratulations to Okolie. And Glowacki put up a fight. He's still, I wouldn't say a top 5 cruiserweight like, Eddie Hearn was trying to talk up, but he's definitely a top 10 cruiserweight. And him versus Masternak would be great. Him versus Voldarchik. He has fights. So I think Glowacki will be fine, and I think he'll be fighting for a world title again. It'll be a defense or a mandatory or something like that. But against Okolie dominated him more than Usyk did. And I talk highly of Usyk, but Okolie just is something to watch, something to see. This is great for boxing, and hopefully it'll I know it won't, but hopefully it'll add eyes to the cruiserweight division. And looking at Okolie and Gulamirian and Riyad Miri and all these people, and hopefully the Americans, Afeto Barabochi and Dion Nicholson and all these guys, like hopefully it'll raise their profile, and Tabiti will get off his ass. Just a good day for cruiserweight boxing. Congratulations once again, Okolie, Billam-Smith, and as well as Artur Beterbiev. And that'll be it. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Again, thanks for stopping by and subscribing and all that. Just all I can ask is, I'm not going to beg anybody for subscribers. All I'm going to say is, if you enjoy the content, that's good. It's what it's there for. It's not there to pander. It's not there to be the most greatest edited or best thing out there on YouTube. I'm just doing what I do and doing how I do. And glad for the little support, or I should say, to me, big support. So I'm just happy that this channel is growing, I guess. Anyways, take it easy, everybody. Until next time. Later.